So the diagram shows a manometer, so that's why C is the correct answer. Afif, you have a question, you want to say something? A water manometer is connected to a gas supply. There is a gas leak and the pressure of the gas supply falls. What happened to the water level at P and what happened to water level at Q? What will be the
P
answer?
rises and Q falls.
So, what is the
C.
answer?
C.
So, the level P will rise and level Q will fall. Figure 3.1 shows a mercury barometer correctly set up as to measure the atmospheric pressure in millimeters of mercury. State state what is in the space level P. What is there at P level P? So there is a vacuum. We create a vacuum. So P is a vacuum here. Not vapors of a mercury. The thing is that because the mercury is a metal and vaporization of a metal is not easy for mercury as compared to other liquids because a strong attraction is there between the particles. You can have a mercury vapors if you supply the energy or heat up. Instead of at room temperature, you don't have these mercury vapors. So you should write a vacuum rather than mercury vapor. On figure 3.1, mark carefully the length which gives the atmospheric pressure. So which length you should mark to get the atmospheric pressure? So level of the mercury in a dish to the tube, you will mark this as height, h. The tube containing a mercury is pushed further down into a dish. State what happened, if anything, to a vertical distance. Like we push this tube further down, anything will happen to the level difference, yes or no? We push this tube further down. The difference in the level or this edge, will it change? The answer is no. The height will not change. Why? Because, like example, if I push this tube further down, this height rises due to the atmospheric pressure. So, example, if I push this further down, and this is a new position of the tube. So this is a new position of the tube. But what you observe here, the difference in the level is due to the atmospheric pressure. So the height, the difference will not change. It will remain same. the level of the liquid rise in the tube depends on the atmospheric pressure. It only changes once the atmospheric pressure changes. If there is no change in atmospheric pressure, the height won't change. Is it clear? Tube will be filled with the liquid from the bottom, but the difference in the height, the question was, what happened? The tube containing a mercury is pushed down further into the dish. State what happened, if anything, to a vertical distance between the mercury surface in the tube and in the dish. So vertical surface, this height difference will not change. So when even you push it further, it will rise to, like example, you push it completely until the mercury level reaches the top of the tube. So example, you push it so much that the mercury level reaches the top of the tube. Then further, when you push, the height will not change. But in this case, because the question was, the tube containing a mercury is pushed further down into a dish. So in the beginning, when you are pushing it down, that moment the height will not change. Is it clear, this question? Another barometer is set up incorrectly. Another barometer, look what happened in the question. You are pushing this. Why the mercury is rising in the tube? The mercury is rise in the tube because the atmosphere is pushing this mercury so that the mercury will rise. If the atmospheric pressure change, the level of the liquid will change. But the atmospheric pressure does not change. What you did, you just push this tube further down. So if I push this tube further down, so this is a new position of the tube. This is a new position of the tube. But the level H, the height will not change because this height difference depend on the atmospheric pressure. So if the height difference does not change, shows the atmospheric pressure is not changing. Another barometer is set up incorrectly. You did not set up the barometer correctly. So the space P contains some air which exert a pressure of 15 millimeter of mercury. So pressure due to air is 15 millimeters of the mercury. And the true atmospheric pressure is 760. Calculate the reading of atmospheric pressure given by the barometer. So the air is exerting a pressure of 15 millimeter and atmospheric pressure is 760 millimeter. So what is the pressure readed by the barometer? If atmosphere is giving a 760 millimeter pressure and air is giving a 15 millimeter pressure from the tube, how much the barometer will show a reading? If it is 760, not 76, 760 millimeter and 15 millimeter. So if atmosphere is pushing it with a pressure of 760 millimeter of mercury and air is there in the tube exerting a pressure of 15. So what you will record, you will not record 760, you will record 745 millimeter because there is a pressure of the air. So what will be the reading on this barometer? The reading on the barometer will be 745 millimeters of mercury. Is it clear? A manometer containing a liquid X, so there's a liquid X inside this manometer, is used to measure the pressure of a gas supply. Figure shows a manometer. The atmospheric pressure is 9.9 exponent 4. The height h is 0.36 meter. The density of the liquid which is used here is 840 kilogram per meter cube. Calculate pressure due to the column of a liquid due to height. So how much is the pressure exerted by the liquid? How we can calculate this? The pressure exerted by the liquid in the column. So pressure exerted by the liquid is equals to density of a liquid multiplied by gravity multiplied by height. The density of the liquid which we are using is 840. The gravity is 10 and the height difference was 0.36. So 840 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 0.36. What's the final answer? 3024 Pascal. So pressure due to the liquid is 3024 Pascal. And pressure due to the atmosphere is 9.9 exponent 4 Pascal. In the next part, you need a pressure of the gas supply. So what is the pressure of the gas supply? Pressure of the gas supply, as we know, the pressure of a gas is higher or more than the pressure of the liquid. So we can say pressure of a gas supply is equals to pressure due to liquid plus atmosphere or atmosphere plus liquid. So pressure of the liquid was 3024 Pascal and pressure due to the atmosphere is 9 exponent 9 Pascal, 9 exponent 4 Pascal. What is the total pressure here due to the gas? You will just simply add them. What's the final answer? 9 exponent 9.9 exponent 4. 9.9 exponent 4 means 99,000. 99,000 plus 3024. So that will be the total pressure due to atmosphere, due to the gas. Is it clear, discussion? Why we add here? Because on the left hand side, the gas is applying pressure. On the right hand side, the liquid is applying pressure and atmosphere is applying pressure. So on the right hand side, there is a pressure due to liquid and pressure due to atmosphere. On the left hand side, there is a pressure due to gas. Pressure due to liquid, that was 3024 Pascal. Density multiplied by gravity multiplied by height. And pressure due to atmosphere was 9.9 exponent 4 Pascal. So atmosphere pressure plus liquid pressure is equals to gas pressure. So atmospheric pressure is 9.9 exponent 4 Pascal and gas pressure is 3024. So you simply add them to get the total pressure of the gas. Because the gas pressure If the atmospheric pressure is higher, then the level of the liquid will be different. Like if we say the atmospheric pressure is higher, then how the levels will appear? So this side level will be down and the other side level will be up. So in that case, the pressure of the atmosphere is more than the pressure of the gas. So to get the gas pressure, we will subtract, because the pressure of atmosphere plus pressure of a gas plus pressure of a liquid is equals to pressure due to atmosphere. So we subtract in that case. But when the pressure is higher, for a gas pressure, when it is higher, we will add them. Is it clear, Hamza? The pressure of the gas supply stays constant. The pressure is not changing. Describe what happened to a liquid level when X is replaced by same volume of liquid with a greater density. If I use a liquid with a greater density, what I will observe? If I use a more dense liquid, what will be the observation here?
Both sides of this like U-shaped tube will decrease in size.
Yes, and the difference in the level will be smaller. And what about a manometer tube is slightly smaller in cross-sectional area or narrow? So what if we are using a narrow tube manometer, the both levels of a liquid in the both limbs of this U-shaped manometer will rise, but the difference in the height will remain unchanged or it will remain constant. Height will not change, height will be same. Difference in the, when we take a narrow tube manometer, the difference in the height will remain, the level of the liquid will rise. Example, here in this question, the height was 0.36. So if I use a narrow tube manometer, the height will remain 0.36, but what happened? The level of the liquid will rise in both tubes. But the height, the difference in the height will remain unchanged because the pressure of the gas supply does not change. So hydraulic system, what are hydraulic system? It uses a Pascal principle. What is the Pascal principle? If pressure is applied on liquid, it will transfer pressure equally in all directions. That's called a Pascal principle. Means if we push a liquid, if we provide a pressure or we apply a pressure on the liquid will apply pressure equally in all the directions. So example, you have a hydraulic device. Hydraulic device means a device which is using a liquid to apply a pressure, that is called hydraulic device. And It is having 4 openings. It is filled with a liquid. If I apply a pressure, example, I apply a force of 10 Newton, and area of this side is 2 meters square. What pressure I am applying on the liquid? A force of 10 Newton at area of 2 meters square. What pressure I am applying on the liquid?
20 Pascal.
Pressure is force divided by area, not multiplied. So pressure is force divided by area, force acting on unit area. So 10 divided by 2, which is equals to 5 Pascal. So if I'm applying a 5 Pascal, according to Pascal principle, if we a principle or a law means practically every time it is giving you a same result. So if I'm applying a pressure of 5 Pascal on the liquid, how much liquid will apply pressure? The liquid will also apply the same pressure equally in all the directions. So how much is the pressure from this side? It will be 5 Pascal. How much is the pressure from this side? It will be 5 Pascal. And how much pressure from other side? It is also 5 Pascal. So this is called a Pascal law or a Pascal principle, that when we push the liquid, when we apply a pressure on the liquid will apply same pressure equally in all the directions. So what is the advantage? Gases does not exhibit Pascal law because gases are compressible. Like if the same container was filled with a gas, or if there was an air bubble inside, because the gas can be compressed, so gases cannot transfer equal pressure in all the direction. So this Pascal principle or Pascal law is only applicable on liquid, because liquids are difficult or hard to compress. On solid also it does not apply on solid, because on a solid the thing is solid might crack, solid might deform. So example, if there is a block, there's a block which is on the floor, and I'm applying a force on unit area to create a pressure. But what happens if I'm applying a 5 Pascal on the block? It is not necessary that the block will apply the same force on the ground. Reason, same pressure on the ground, because the block might, it depends on the surface area in contact. It depends on, maybe the block might deform or absorb energy, so it will not supply the same pressure. So it is not applicable on solid. Solid does not exhibit Pascal law. Gases also does not show Pascal law. Only it is applicable on liquids. So when we apply pressure on the liquid will apply same pressure equally in all the direction. So these hydraulic system, hydraulic brakes are using a Pascal principle or a Pascal law. So here in this example, if you want to lift a heavy object, like example, if you want to lift this car, we applied a force of 15 Newton on area of 0.01 meter square. What is the pressure we applied on the liquid? What's the pressure? Pressure is force divided by area. So force is 15 and the area is 0.01. What is the pressure we applied? 15 divided by 0.01. So we applied 15,000. We applied 15,000 Pascal. So if we apply 15,000 Pascal, sorry, 1500, not 1000. So we apply 1500 Pascal. So according to Pascal principle, how much pressure applied on this side? So it will apply a pressure of 1500 Pascal. So if pressure here is 1500 Pascal and area is 0.1, what will be the force? So force is pressure multiplied by area. So pressure is 1500 multiplied by area is 0.1. 1500 multiplied by 0.1. So what force it will apply on this car? It will apply an upward force of 150 Newton. So what force I applied? I only applied 15 Newton, but as a result, greater upward force can be applied using a Pascal principle. So using this Pascal principle, we can use this principle to lift heavy objects. So according to Pascal principle, if we apply pressure on the liquid will apply same pressure equally in all the directions. And using this pressure and area, we can identify that what force is applied on the other side. So by only a 15 Newton force, we are able to lift a heavy object, which is about 150 Newtons. Is it clear? Why the pressure is not divided? Because the liquids are incompressible or difficult to compress. So what they do, they are applying pressure in all the direction. Even when I apply a 1500 Pascal here, so all the sides, all the directions, the pressure is 1500 Pascal. But the overall upward pressure is 1500, pressure towards right is 1500, left is also 1500, downward is also 1500, because the liquids are incompressible or difficult to compress. So when you push the liquid molecule will push other molecules with the same pressure in all the directions. It's not only a specific direction, in all the direction they apply a same force. So in this question, if I say calculate the force on piston K, so if you want to calculate a force on piston K, a downward force of 4 Newton is exerted on piston L. What will be the upward force exerted by the liquid on K? So you applied a force of 4 Newton on 2 centimeters square area. So what pressure you applied? Pressure is force divided by area. So 4 divided by 2, this is equal to 2. Newton per centimeter square, I cannot say Pascal because Newton per centimeter square is not Pascal. So we apply a pressure of 2. So according to Pascal principle, how much pressure should be applied on other side? The other side, the liquid will also apply a pressure of 2 Newton per centimeter square. But what is the force? Force is pressure multiplied by area. So pressure is 2 and area of the other side is 40. So 2 multiplied by 40, the resultant force on the other side will be 80 Newton upward. So there is an upward force of 80 Newton. So you just applied a force of 4 Newton, but as a result, there's an upward force of 80 Newton. So you can lift an object up to 80 Newton or weight of 80 Newton. Is it clear? The Pascal principle?
Yes, sir.
Another example. So these hydraulic jacks, hydraulic brakes, this is a hydraulic jack. It's common when, if you want to change the tire or replace the tire, these hydraulic jacks are placed under the vehicle. How it works is use the same Pascal principle. You can see, so there is a liquid inside. It is filled with a liquid. We apply a force but we apply a small amount of force. Like example, if area of this side is, example, 1 meter square, and area of this side is 5 meters square. If I apply a force of 10 Newton, so how much pressure I will apply on the liquid? So pressure is force divided by area, so 10 divided by 1. So how much pressure I applied? I applied a pressure of 10 Pascal on the liquid. So if I applied a pressure of 10 Pascal on the liquid, according to Pascal principle, the liquid will apply same pressure in all the directions. It's not only in one direction, it's on all the directions. It will apply a 10 Pascal. So what will be the upward pressure? The upward pressure will also be 10 Pascal. So 10 Pascal is the pressure and the area is 5. So 10 multiplied by 5. As a result, how much force, upward force will be there? The upward force will be 50 Newton. So I applied only a 10 Newton force downward, but as a result, I can have a 50 Newton force upward, which can be sufficient. In this example, it will not be sufficient, but it will be sufficient to lift up an object. Because 50 Newton force means 5 kilogram object. These cars are not 5 kilogram, it's about 3000 kilogram or more than that, these trucks. Is it clear, the concept of the Pascal principle? Same way, hydraulic brakes. Hydraulic brakes also use the same concept of the Pascal principle. So what happened as the driver pushed the brake pedal? As he pushed the brake pedal, there's a brake fluid or the oil is there. So example, a driver apply a force of 10 Newton. When a driver apply a force of 10 Newton in area is 1 meter square, so driver apply a pressure of 10 Pascal. So if a driver apply a pressure of a 10 Pascal, what liquid will apply? The liquid will apply same pressure, 10 Pascal in both directions. So when this will apply a pressure in both directions, these are the disc brakes or brake. So what happens, these, as it will push, these brakes will come in contact with the brake shoe and it will come in contact with the tire. So it will stop the tire from moving. For example, if there was an air bubble inside, will it work properly? If there was an air bubble in the brake fluid?
No.
Why it will not work efficiently?
Some of the pressure will be used to blow the bubble out.
Or some of the pressure will be used or energy will be used to consume or to reduce the size of the air bubbles. That's why for a brake fluid, whenever a mechanic is replacing a brake fluid, he is making sure that all of the air is removed from the brake. So when he is replacing a brake fluid, he paddle the brake fluid. A brake paddle is used many times to remove any air bubbles present in the brake fluid.